Welcome back to our channel, Rare Coins All World, coin collectors and enthusiasts. Today, we're going to talk about something that might just surprise you, an everyday coin that has a potential value far beyond what you might expect. I'm talking about the 1972 Lincoln 1-cent penny. Now, you might think, it's just a penny, right? But trust me when I say that the 1972 Lincoln penny, especially in the right condition or with certain features, can be worth a small fortune. Stick around, and I'll show you exactly why this penny is a treasure in the world of numismatics. First, let's rewind and take a look at the history of the Lincoln penny, one of the most iconic coins in American history. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909, and it was the first U.S. coin to feature a portrait of a president. The coin was designed by artist Victor David Brenner, and it shows President Abraham Lincoln facing left on the obverse. His image has graced the coin for over a century, making it one of the most enduring symbols of American heritage. The reverse of the penny has undergone several changes over the years, but from 1909 until 1958, it featured two wheat stalks on either side of the words E pluribus unum and 1 cent. This design, known as the wheat cent, was replaced in 1959 by a new reverse design, which features the Lincoln Memorial. This is the design you see on most modern pennies today. Now, let's focus on the 1972 penny specifically. In 1972, the U.S. Mint continued producing pennies with the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side, but it was a year marked by a fascinating and important event in the world of coinage. 1972 was the year that saw an increased focus on minting errors and variances that have become key points of interest for collectors. Some of these errors, coupled with the condition of the coin, make the 1972 penny particularly valuable. The composition of the 1972 penny, like most pennies from the 20th century, was 95% copper and 5% zinc, making it a substantial coin when compared to today's modern pennies. In fact, pennies minted in 1972 were much heavier and had more copper content than today's pennies, which are primarily made of zinc with a copper plating. This difference in composition alone can make certain older pennies more desirable to collectors, but what really makes the 1972 Lincoln penny so intriguing is that it has a higher potential to be worth more than just its face value due to certain key characteristics. Most 1972 pennies you come across are probably going to be worth, well, just a penny. But here's the catch: in the world of coin collecting, it's all about the condition, the rarity, and, in some cases, errors. If you happen to have a 1972 Lincoln penny that's been kept in pristine condition, or if it has one of those rare minting errors, it could be worth a lot more than you think. First, let's talk about condition. The better the condition of the coin, the more valuable it becomes. When we say pristine condition, we're talking about a coin that has been carefully preserved with minimal to no signs of wear. If you find a 1972 penny that has barely any scratches, scuffs, or tarnish, you've found a gem. Coins that have been well kept, especially those that have been stored in protective cases or albums, are highly sought after by collectors. For the 1972 penny, a coin in uncirculated condition could easily fetch a higher value than a coin that's been heavily circulated. Now, here's where things get really interesting. The 1972 penny is known for having a variety of minting errors, and some of these errors can significantly increase the value of the coin. One of the most famous errors associated with the 1972 penny is the double die obverse. This occurs when the coin is struck multiple times by the dies, creating a doubling effect on the letters and numbers on the obverse of the coin, particularly the word Liberty and the date, 1972. These double dies happen because of a mistake in the alignment during the minting process, and they're a huge deal in the world of coin collecting. If you happen to find a 1972 Lincoln penny with the double die obverse error, you've found a coin that could be worth a significant amount of money. In fact, depending on the severity of the doubling and the overall condition of the coin, these errors can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. In addition to the double die obverse, there are also some other rare varieties and errors that can make the 1972 penny stand out. Coins with off-center strikes, misaligned dies, or even coins that have been struck with the wrong planchet can also command a higher value in the market. As a collector, what you want to look for is a coin that's in the best condition possible and that might have one of these rare errors or minting variations. The rarity of these coins is what really drives up their value. When it comes to the 1972 penny, finding one with a unique error or in perfect condition could mean you found something that's worth more than just a few cents. So, what kind of value are we talking about here? How much could a 1972 Lincoln penny be worth if you find one in great condition, especially if it has a rare minting error? The value can range quite a bit depending on the specific features of the coin, but we're not talking about a few bucks. In fact, certain 1972 pennies with the right error or in top condition have been known to sell for $35,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $35,000 for a single 1972 penny. Who would have thought that something as small and unassuming as a penny could be worth so much? So, what should you do if you think you have a 1972 Lincoln penny that could be worth this much? The first step is to inspect your coin closely. Take a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe and examine the details on both the obverse and reverse sides. Look for any signs of doubling in the lettering or numbers. If you notice any unusual features, it might be time to get the coin professionally graded by a numismatist. A certified coin grading service can evaluate the condition of the coin and determine whether it's worth the big bucks. To sum it all up, the 1972 Lincoln penny is far more than just a small piece of currency, it's a potential treasure waiting to be discovered. Whether you have a perfectly preserved coin or a rare minting error, this penny could be worth thousands of dollars. If you've got a 1972 penny sitting around, it's definitely worth taking a closer look at it because you might just be sitting on a small fortune. Today, we're diving deep into the world of rare coins, and we have something truly special to explore, the 1974 Lincoln 1-cent penny. Now, I know what you're thinking, it's just a penny, right? How could something so small be worth so much? Well, if you think that way, you might be in for a big surprise. The 1974 Lincoln penny, especially in certain conditions or with unique features, is worth way more than you might expect. Stick around, and we'll reveal just how much this seemingly ordinary penny could be worth today. Before we get into the specifics of its value, let's take a step back and explore the history of the Lincoln penny. First introduced in 1909, the Lincoln cent was the first U.S. coin to feature a portrait of a president. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin showcases the image of President Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, on the obverse, front, side. His image is one of the most recognizable and revered representations of an American president in history. For over a century, the Lincoln penny has gone through various design changes, but the one constant has been the image of President Lincoln. The reverse side of the coin has seen the most changes throughout its history. From the wheat stalk design, 1909 to 1958, to the iconic Lincoln Memorial design, which began in 1959 and is still in use today, the design has adapted with the times while maintaining the legacy of the nation's most celebrated president. Now, let's zero in on the 1974 Lincoln penny. While this coin may look like any other penny that's been in circulation for decades, there are some specific features and qualities that could make it worth far more than its original value. The 1974 penny is made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, which makes it quite different from today's pennies, which are primarily made of zinc with just a thin copper plating. The older, copper-based pennies are often more sought after, especially by those who collect coins based on metal composition, but it's not just the composition that makes the 1974 penny unique. This coin is also known for certain features that make it particularly desirable to collectors. For example, there are some rare minting errors associated with the 1974 Lincoln penny that can significantly increase its value. If you've been collecting for a while, you may have heard of coins with minting errors. These errors, which happen when a coin is struck incorrectly during the minting process, are often highly valued by collectors because of their rarity and uniqueness. One of the most famous errors associated with the 1974 penny is the double die obverse. This error occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned, resulting in a doubling effect on certain parts of the design, most notably the word Liberty and the date, 1974, on the obverse side. If you come across a 1974 penny with noticeable doubling on these areas, you might be looking at a valuable collector's item. The double die error is one of the most highly sought-after varieties in the world of coin collecting, and it can add a significant premium to the coin's value. In addition to the double die error, there are also other variations and mistakes that can make a 1974 penny stand out. For example, off-center strikes and die cracks are also common among certain coins from this era, and if your penny happens to have one of these characteristics, it could be worth more than a typical coin. Coins with unique features like these are what coin collectors dream about finding, and they can drastically increase the value of an otherwise common penny. But even if your 1974 Lincoln penny doesn't have a noticeable error or variation, it still has value, especially if it's in excellent condition. As with all coins, the value of a penny is heavily dependent on its grade or condition. A coin that has been well preserved, with little to no wear or damage, will fetch a much higher price than a coin that has been heavily circulated. The highest quality pennies, known as MS-65 or MS-66, are the ones that are most in demand, and they can be worth significantly more than pennies that show signs of heavy use. One important factor to keep in mind when evaluating the condition of a coin is its luster. Coins that have been carefully stored and protected often retain their original shine, making them more appealing to collectors. On the other hand, pennies that have been exposed to the elements or have been handled frequently may lose their shine and become tarnished, which can lower their value. So, if you've managed to keep a 1974 penny in mint condition, you may have a valuable coin on your hands. But what is the exact value of a 1974 Lincoln penny? How much can it really be worth if you find one in excellent condition or with an error? The truth is, values can vary widely depending on the coin's features, its condition, and whether it has a rare error or variation. A regular 1974 penny in good condition is generally worth only a few cents, nothing too remarkable. However, if you have a 1974 Lincoln penny with a double die error or in uncirculated condition, the value can skyrocket. For a 1974 penny in top condition or with one of those rare minting errors, such as the double die obverse, you could be looking at a value of as much as $39,000. Yes, you heard that right, $39,000 for a single penny. If you have a 1974 penny that's in excellent condition or has a minting error, you could have a coin worth more than most people's car or even their house. So, what should you do if you think you have a 1974 Lincoln penny with a rare error or in exceptional condition? The first thing you should do is closely inspect your coin. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to examine the details, especially around the date and the word Liberty. If you see any signs of doubling or other unusual features, you might have an error coin on your hands. Once you've identified any potential errors, it's time to get the coin professionally graded. A professional grading service, like the ones offered by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, can evaluate your coin's condition and determine its true value. These services are widely trusted in the numismatic community, and a certified coin can be sold for much higher prices than an uncertified one. In conclusion, the 1974 Lincoln penny might seem like an ordinary coin, but it has the potential to be far more valuable than most people realize. Whether it's in pristine condition or has a rare minting error, this penny could be worth $39,000. If you have a 1974 penny sitting in your collection, take a close look, it might just be worth a fortune. Today, we're going to be taking a deep dive into a truly fascinating piece of U.S. coinage, the 1980 Lincoln 1-cent penny. You might think that a penny from the 1980s is just another piece of pocket change, but let me tell you, this particular penny could be worth a lot more than you might imagine. Stick around as we uncover the secrets behind the 1980 Lincoln penny and find out why it could be worth $48,000. Let's begin by taking a step back in time to 1980. The United States, just like today, was in a constant state of economic flux. The country was navigating through a period of high inflation, and the economy was facing challenges, including the ongoing effects of the 1970s oil crisis. However, despite these economic issues, the U.S. Mint was busy at work, continuing its production of coins to meet the nation's needs. It was also a year where the Lincoln penny, one of the most recognizable coins in American history, was produced in great quantities. Now, let's talk about the iconic Lincoln penny. Introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, this coin quickly became an essential part of U.S. currency. For over a century, the penny has featured the image of Lincoln on the obverse, with his profile gazing to the right. On the reverse side, we've seen a variety of designs over the years, but in 1980, it was still using the famous design featuring the Lincoln Memorial, which had been in use since 1959. This design, created by artist Frank Gasparo, depicts the west front of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. The Lincoln penny has gone through several changes in its composition, from solid copper to the copper-plated zinc that we see today. In 1980, the penny was made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, which gave it a distinctive weight and color. It's important to note that this makes the 1980 penny somewhat different from the ones produced after 1982, when the composition was changed to reduce costs due to the rising price of copper. Because of this, pennies from 1980 and earlier are often more valuable to collectors, especially if they are in good condition or have unique features. When it comes to coin collecting, rarity and condition are the two biggest factors that determine a coin's value. The 1980 Lincoln penny is relatively common, meaning that you can still find these coins circulating today, but certain aspects can make some of them more valuable than others. One of the most important things to look for when evaluating the 1980 Lincoln penny is the coin's grade or condition. You see, a penny that has been circulated heavily, one that's been passed around through the hands of countless people over the years, will have visible signs of wear and tear. The design will be faded, and the coin might have scratches, dents, or discoloration. This type of penny, while still valuable in its own right, will generally not fetch as much as a penny that has been well preserved. A coin that is in uncirculated condition, on the other hand, is practically pristine. It will have a sharp, clear design with no noticeable damage or wear. The luster will be intact, meaning the coin still shines like new. These coins are highly sought after by collectors because they are rare and hold their value much better than those that have been circulated. But there's another reason why the 1980 Lincoln penny can be so valuable: minting errors. Coin errors are some of the most exciting and prized discoveries for coin collectors. These errors occur when something goes wrong during the minting process, and the result is a coin that is different from the standard issue. Some minting errors are incredibly rare, and the rarer they are, the more valuable they become. For the 1980 Lincoln penny, one of the most famous and valuable errors is the double die variety. This error occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned or has been improperly prepared, causing parts of the design to appear doubled. For the 1980 penny, this doubling can often be seen in the date and the word "Liberty" on the obverse side. These coins are highly coveted by collectors because they are so unique. The double die variety is one of the most well-known and valuable errors in coin collecting, and if you're lucky enough to find one, it could dramatically increase the value of your coin. In addition to the double die variety, there are other minting errors that can occur on the 1980 Lincoln penny, such as off-center strikes, die cracks, and broad strikes. Each of these errors can make a coin more valuable to collectors, especially if the error is large or easily visible. If you have a 1980 penny with any of these characteristics, it's definitely worth taking a closer look to see if you've stumbled upon a rare find. So, just how much could a 1980 Lincoln penny be worth? Well, a standard, circulated 1980 penny is only worth its face value of 1 cent. But, if your 1980 penny is in mint condition, or if it has a rare minting error like the double die, you could be looking at a much higher value. In fact, a 1980 Lincoln penny with a significant error or in exceptional condition could be worth as much as $48,000, that's right, $48,000 for a single penny. Imagine finding such a rare and valuable coin just sitting in your collection, or better yet, buried in a pile of loose change. If you're a coin collector or just someone who's happened to come across a 1980 penny, it's worth taking the time to carefully examine the coin. Check for any signs of wear or error, and if you think you found something special, don't hesitate to get it professionally graded by a trusted coin grading service. Once a coin is graded, it will receive a numerical grade based on its condition. A higher grade coin can fetch much more money than a lower grade one, so it's important to ensure your coin is properly evaluated. There are several reputable grading services, such as the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, and the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, that specialize in assessing coins and assigning them a grade. Once a coin is graded and certified, it becomes much easier to sell, and you can be confident in its value. In conclusion, while the 1980 Lincoln penny might seem like just another coin from the past, it has the potential to be far more valuable than you might think. Whether it's in excellent condition or has a rare minting error, this penny could be worth $48,000. If you have a 1980 penny, be sure to take a close look. Your next big find could be right in front of you. Today, we're focusing on a coin that may look simple at first glance but has an intriguing backstory and surprising value, the 1981 Lincoln 1-cent penny. If you've ever wondered about the hidden worth of old pennies, stick around because this little copper coin could be worth a lot more than you think. Keep watching until the end, where we reveal its potential worth and how much this penny could sell for in today's market. Now, let's take a look at the world of the 1981 Lincoln penny. The 1980s was a time of great change for the United States, both socially and economically. The country was recovering from the economic crises of the 1970s, including the oil shortages and rising inflation rates. In 1981, Ronald Reagan had just been inaugurated as the 40th President of the United States, and his policies would lead to a series of economic changes that would shape the nation for years to come. But what does this all have to do with a penny, you might wonder? Well, coins like the 1981 Lincoln penny are more than just currency, they are a snapshot of history. The penny, first introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln's centennial, has gone through many changes over the years. By the 1980s, the design of the penny had become familiar to Americans, with Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse side and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. The design by Frank Gasparro, featuring the memorial, had been in circulation for over 2 decades, representing American history and ideals. The 1981 Lincoln penny, just like its predecessors, was made primarily of copper. At this time, the penny was composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving it that iconic reddish-brown color. This composition remained until 1982, when the U.S. Mint made the decision to change the penny's makeup to mostly zinc, due to rising copper prices. Because of this, the 1981 penny stands out, particularly for collectors who value older, copper-based coins. Now, while the 1981 penny might seem like just another coin, there are a few things that make it valuable. First and foremost, the condition of the coin is key. Many of the 1981 pennies were heavily circulated, meaning they were worn down over time by constant handling. Coins that have experienced a lot of circulation tend to show signs of wear, faded or blurry designs, scratches, and discoloration. These types of coins are still worth their face value of 1 cent, but they're not going to fetch much in the marketplace. However, if you have a 1981 penny that is in near mint or uncirculated condition, that's where the real value lies. An uncirculated 1981 penny will look as if it just came out of the mint, with sharp details, a bright, shiny finish, and no visible signs of wear. These pennies are rare because most of them were spent quickly or damaged over time. So, if you come across one of these in your coin collection or in your change jar, consider yourself lucky. Another important factor that adds value to the 1981 penny is the possibility of minting errors. Coins can sometimes have imperfections due to issues during the production process, and these errors are highly sought after by collectors. Minting errors can include things like off-center strikes, double die errors, and die cracks. For example, if you find a 1981 Lincoln penny with the image of Lincoln doubled or the words, "In God We Trust," slightly out of alignment, it could be a significant find. The most famous type of error that affects coins from this era is the double die error. This happens when a die strikes a coin twice, resulting in a slightly blurry or doubled image. For the 1981 penny, the double die error may occur on the obverse side of the coin, specifically affecting the date or the words around Lincoln's image. Finding a penny with this type of error is a coin collector's dream, as it can significantly increase the value of the coin. Another possibility for error coins is the off-center strike. This happens when a coin isn't positioned correctly in the press during the minting process, causing it to be struck in an incorrect position. An off-center strike can make a coin look distorted, with part of the design missing from one side. While these types of errors are often considered defects by casual observers, they are prized by collectors who love the uniqueness and rarity of these coins. The more dramatic the off-center error, the more valuable the coin can be. Now, let's talk about another key reason why the 1981 Lincoln penny might be worth much more than you think. One important aspect that many people overlook is the sheer number of pennies produced in 1981. The U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies in that year, and although the 1981 penny is not considered rare in a general sense, certain variations or mistakes make some of these coins much more valuable than others. Coin collectors are always on the lookout for unique finds that set a coin apart from the typical examples found in circulation. A 1981 penny in great condition or with an error could easily fetch hundreds of dollars in the right market. But for the most extraordinary examples, like the rare double die or highly sought-after off-center strikes, the price can climb to extraordinary amounts. Now, here's the big moment you've all been waiting for. So, how much could a 1981 Lincoln penny actually be worth? Well, depending on the condition, errors, and demand, a standard 1981 penny may be worth a few dollars or maybe even a bit more if it's in mint condition. But, if you've come across a 1981 penny with a significant minting error, or if it's an uncirculated gem with no signs of wear, it could be worth an impressive $58,000. Yes, that's right. A single penny, one of the most common coins in the world, could be worth $58,000. Imagine finding this gem in your pocket change or in a coin jar you've been holding onto for years. It's crazy to think that something so small and humble could hold such great value. So, if you have any 1981 Lincoln pennies lying around, it might just be worth your time to dig them out and take a close look. You could be sitting on a hidden treasure. In conclusion, while the 1981 Lincoln penny may seem like just another ordinary piece of currency, it has the potential to be worth far more than you'd expect. Whether it's in pristine, uncirculated condition or has a rare minting error, this penny could be worth $58,000. So, if you're a coin collector or simply someone who's curious about the value of old pennies, remember to always check your coins carefully. You never know what hidden treasures are waiting to be discovered. Today, we're going to explore one of the most interesting and valuable coins in U.S. history, the 1982 Lincoln 1-cent penny. You might think that pennies are just a small, insignificant part of currency, but this particular penny has a unique story, and it might just be worth more than you can imagine. Stick around until the end, where we'll reveal just how much this 1982 penny could be worth today. The year 1982 was a transformative time in the United States, both economically and socially. The country was in the midst of the early 80s recession, but despite the financial challenges, the United States Mint was still producing billions of coins to keep up with demand. The 1982 penny, however, stands out because of a crucial change that happened that year, one that would make certain versions of this coin extremely valuable to collectors. Before 1982, U.S. pennies were made primarily of copper, a composition that gave them a distinctive reddish-brown color. The 1982 Lincoln pennies were the last ones to be made primarily from copper before a major change in the mint's production process. Due to the rising costs of copper, the U.S. Mint decided to change the composition of the penny, starting in mid-1982. The new pennies, known as zinc pennies, would be made of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper, drastically reducing the cost of production. So, what does this mean for the 1982 penny? Well, it means that the 1982 coin comes in two different metal compositions. Some are still made of copper, while others are made of zinc. This dual composition is incredibly important for collectors, as it adds a layer of complexity to the value of the coin. Depending on the exact composition of the penny you have, it could be worth a lot more than its face value of just 1 cent. The first key factor in determining the value of the 1982 penny is whether it's made of copper or zinc. The copper pennies were produced early in the year before the mint made the switch, while the zinc pennies were produced later. So, if you have a 1982 penny and you're unsure which type it is, the first step is to determine the composition. One easy way to tell the difference is to perform a simple magnet test. Zinc pennies will not be attracted to a magnet, but copper pennies will stick to it because of the higher copper content. This test will give you a quick answer as to whether you have a copper or zinc 1982 penny, and it will be crucial in determining its value. Now, let's talk about the 1982 copper penny and why it could be worth a significant amount of money. While copper pennies from 1982 aren't as rare as some of the older pennies, they are still highly sought after by collectors due to their composition. In addition, if you happen to have an uncirculated copper 1982 penny, the value increases exponentially. Coins that have never been used in circulation, and therefore have no wear or damage, are extremely rare and can command higher prices. The condition of the coin plays a massive role in its value. The second factor that plays a role in the value of the 1982 Lincoln penny is the potential for minting errors. Mint errors can occur during the coin's production, making it even more unique and valuable. One of the most well-known types of minting errors that can occur with the 1982 penny is the double die error. This happens when a coin is struck more than once by the die during production, resulting in the design being doubled or shifted slightly on the coin. For the 1982 penny, one of the most significant types of double die errors can be found on the obverse of the coin, specifically with the date or the words, "Liberty" or "In God We Trust." If you're lucky enough to find a 1982 penny with a double die error, you could have a highly valuable coin on your hands. These types of errors are incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors because they are unique and can't be replicated. A penny with this kind of error could easily fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars in the right market. In addition to the double die error, other minting mistakes can also make the 1982 penny more valuable. For example, some 1982 pennies were struck off-center, meaning the design was not perfectly aligned on the coin. Off-center strikes are considered a form of minting error, and they can make a coin look unusual or distorted, adding to its appeal for collectors. These types of errors are harder to come by, but if you find an off-center 1982 penny, it could dramatically increase its value. Another type of mint error that can increase the value of the 1982 penny is the broad strike error. Broad strikes occur when a coin is struck without a collar, causing the metal to spread out and create a larger than normal coin. These coins are often misshapen and have a unique look that sets them apart from regular pennies. A broad strike error on a 1982 penny can add significant value, especially if the error is noticeable and the coin is in good condition. When it comes to the 1982 zinc pennies, they don't have the same intrinsic value due to the lower copper content, but they can still be valuable, especially if they feature minting errors or are in perfect condition. The key to finding valuable 1982 pennies is paying close attention to their composition, condition, and any potential mint errors. Now, let's talk about the big reveal: how much is the 1982 Lincoln penny actually worth? Well, if you have a 1982 copper penny in pristine condition or with a mint error like the double die, off-center strike, or broad strike, the value can skyrocket. In fact, a single 1982 copper penny with the right characteristics could be worth as much as $65,000. That's right, $65,000 for a penny. Whether you've had it in your collection for years or just found it recently, it's worth taking a closer look at any 1982 pennies you come across. You never know when you might stumble upon a hidden treasure. In conclusion, while the 1982 Lincoln penny may seem like just another coin in your pocket, it holds incredible value for collectors and coin enthusiasts. The two different compositions, the potential for minting errors, and the rarity of uncirculated coins all contribute to its worth. So, if you've got a 1982 penny lying around, it might just be worth more than you ever imagined. With the right combination of composition, condition, and mint errors, a 1982 Lincoln penny could be worth an astounding $65,000. Thank you for joining us today, and we hope you've enjoyed learning about the 1982 Lincoln penny. If you want to learn more about rare coins, their history, and how to evaluate them, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss out on any future coin discoveries. Happy collecting!